Oh yeah. Let's talk about it, man. Y'all know how I get when I talk about women's boxing. And we about to talk about women's boxing. But first things first, I will hope and pray everything is great your way. And the next thing I'm gonna say is protect sports, protect sports at all costs. Keep men out of women's sports. Now let's talk about it. Today, the number one pound for pound female fighter in the world, five division champion, the current WBC heavyweight champion, WBO light heavyweight champion, three-time undisputed, two division undisputed, twice in one weight class, none other than Claressa T Rex Shields, 15 wins, no losses, no draws, three wins by way of knockout. Coming off of her massive KO victory over Vanessa LePage Jonas to snatch up those heavyweight titles, light heavyweight titles. She announced today that in 2025, she's going back to 154, back down to 154. She says she's got her nutritionist and they're already at work. After that last fight, they've been at work. And this is interesting. I think this is the most interesting thing right now, aside from Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano's fight for women's boxing and the shocking news of Senicia Estrada retiring. I think this is right there with everything that is like the hot topic in women's boxing. And the reason, y'all, the reason this is so much of a hot topic is because the 154, 147, and 140 divisions are the best women's divisions right now. You can argue lightweight is from lightweight to 154. That's where all of the best talent is in women's boxing right now. Claressa Shields, she was unified at super middleweight, cleared out that division. There wasn't much else for her to do with that division. She could have went back and tried to go undisputed, take those titles up off of Savannah Marshall. But what's the point? What's the purpose? You know, you can win that fight. But let's look at the competition surrounding 154. You got the likes of Natasha Jonas. While she is the IBF welterweight champion, she did hold the title at 154 as well before moving back down. Now you got undisputed super featherweight champion, that being Alicia the Bomb Gardner, who made her ring return. And that fight was ruled a no contest. Um, well, she was winning that fight, in my opinion. Um, but she cuts weight from she cuts down from about 147 to 154 to make it down to 130. She cuts weight. So yeah, that's been talked about. 147, 154 between those two. Oh yeah. Also got a crossover star, the now five organization MMA champion, Chris Cyborg, who's been lobbying for a fight with Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields has been lobbying for a fight with her as well. But it was all about the weight. Chris Cyborg fights at 145, 155 in MMA. She can fight at 147, 154. It can be done. You also have Terry Harper, WBA champion at 154. We all know Terry Harper. She's a good fighter. A little bit on the backside, but she's still a good fighter. She still is a tough fight for a lot of people. Then you have a former opponent of Claressa Shields at 154, that being Emma Kozin, who she boxed to a unanimous decision prior to the Savannah Marshall fight. Emma Kozin is now unified at 154. She's a WBC, WBO champion at that weight. Then you have the IBF champion, Femke Hermans. who she's a former opponent also, and a former opponent over with Savannah Marshall. She's a little bit towards the backside, you can argue, but still a tough outing as well. Ouch, no knock. Um, Also, you have female boxing's first undisputed 4-belt champion, the first lady of boxing, Cecilia Brækhus. And that right there is a fight that has been talked about for a long time. I seen Cecilia Brækhus here in Tulsa during the pandemic when she lost to Jessica McCaskill, and she made her ring return a while back, and she recently picked up the WBC interim strap over who was that? Man, I can't remember. Light skinned Hispanic fighter, I believe. I can't remember her name, but it'll come to me. But she picked up the WBC interim strap in a unanimous decision. And I thought, wow, this just upgraded this division to a whole new level. I love women's boxing, as y'all can tell, and I'm hyped and stoked about this because it's not going to take long before Claressa Shields to drop the 175 weight, the weight that she walks around at, and get comfortable at the weight and making the 154. It's not going to take long, and I'm telling y'all right now, she's coming for those belts. She's coming. She's coming to make the biggest and best fights. Also, Michaela Mayer was recently asked, would she fight Claressa Shields? And she said, if the fight makes sense, it'll happen. That's a good fight right there. I'm telling you guys, Sandy Ryan, she's on the ticket. Katie Taylor, if they can get Claressa Shields to 147, she's on the ticket. If Amanda Serrano does not retire soon, she could be on the ticket. This is going to be a shakeup in this division, in these 147 and 154 divisions. What do y'all think about this move? I'm hyped about this, as you can tell. The GWOAT is back in 2025. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel about that. Peace.